Hi, I'm Eva Nagy, and this is Spiritual Weight Loss. Ever felt the way that you wanted to lose weight so much that if somebody could give you a pill, no matter how much it would cost you, or no matter what you had to do with yourself, you would have done it? I certainly had that way in the past, and this is exactly how one of my friends felt that I met the other day, and I want to tell you her story and how I helped her to get out of this mindset. So the other day we met, and after a couple of minutes of casual chit chatting, just exchanging how we were doing and what was going on in our lives, she bursted out telling me what she told her husband the day before. And she said to him that if somebody could help me to lose 10 pounds overnight, I would give this person $10,000. And then she looked at me and said, I know I shouldn't feel this way, but I do. And I don't know what to do. What do I do about it? First of all, I want to address how amazing is that she started to pay attention to this feeling, even though she said that I shouldn't feel this way. How many times did that happen to you where you felt a certain way, but you pretended you didn't because it just didn't, it wasn't the right thing to do? And a lot of times when we do that, we just shove it on the side and we pretend as if it wasn't there. But actually, it is there and it's hurting us inside, even if we are not recognizing it, even if we are trying to avoid it or shove it under the carpet. So I really appreciated her that she wanted to address this issue. I asked her if she needed help from me to guide her through it, and she agreed to it. So I started to ask deeper questions because I knew and I understood that had to be so much more pain behind and below the surface because she wanted to lose weight overnight. And she would put so much money out there at the same time. She would put $10,000 out there if somebody could help her. The change had to be instantaneous, and even with the financial drain she would have done it. So the pain had to be so much deeper, and that's why it's so important to dig deep to understand what is below the surface. What is making us see and feel this way? What drives our behavior? What drives our actions? So after going deeper and asking her questions, we come to this place where we were almost at the bottom. And she just came into this very authentic and real place, and she looked at me and she became extremely honest with herself, and she looked at me and she said, you know, Eva, I'm at the part of my life right now where my business is it's just really starting to take off, and I feel that when I become very successful, there's a certain way that I need to look. And that's why I asked even more questions. What did success mean to her? And at the end, we found out that she still wanted her father approval. She loves what she does, but the reason why she also wanted to be successful and also lose weight so she can prove herself to her father. So we went back from wanting her to change herself, make instantaneous, sudden, quick, expensive changes, even painful changes, because she was carrying this pain from her past, from her childhood. When we got here, she shared it with me that she didn't feel seen when she was a kid, that she always felt that she was the black sheep and her sister got the support. And still today she feels that her father is not supporting her for who she is. This video is not about judging or blaming our parents, but what's really important to add here is that people see us through their own perception of how they see the world. If they see the world through the eyes of fear, where they need to control other people, where other people need to fit their expectations, where people there's a certain way they need to live in order for them to survive. This is their survival mechanism. Then they are going to project that onto us, and they are going to see us through those expectations. And every single person on this planet has their own views of reality and what is right and what is wrong. Our caregivers, our parents, they are not doing this because they want to hurt us, but in their own eyes, this is the way they love us. This is their way of expressing their love because they think that they're doing something good to us. So this is a very, very different way of looking at it. And even though it's really painful, and I just have been through one of these situations where in my family and the people that I would love to support me in my mission and why I'm here and who I am and my authentic self, I don't feel this support, and I understand how painful this is. It's also painful when society doesn't want to accept you because you're putting something different out there, something that they might have never seen or they cannot relate to. Or maybe you're putting something or saying things that endangers their own survival mechanism, their own perception of the world, and that makes them feel unsafe and that makes them feel uncomfortable. So there are many different reasons why other people judge us, and it's really important to address here and understand here that it's not necessarily about who we are, especially when we know that we are not doing anything bad. We are just not doing what they want us to do. When we talked about this, she looked at it, she's like, yeah, that makes sense and I understand it, but how do I switch my perception? How do I get out of this pain? How do I get out of this natural reaction that I want to prove myself to my father? Because I don't want my business to be run this way. My business is important for me. This is coming from my heart. This is my authentic self, my self-expression. But I feel that something else is driving me too, and I don't want that too. And I can also relate to this because because I feel that about myself for many years, that there were certain things that I wanted to do in my business. I mean, weight loss through the soul is such a different concept that anybody else have ever really been openly talking about. And I'm getting a lot of feedbacks from people and a lot of judgments. And this is my authentic self. How do you hold the space to yourself and hold the space and keep your heart open to yourself, not allowing this outside influence poison you? So I recommended her to do exactly the same thing that I did for myself, which was that instead of seeing myself through other people's judgment, I started to pay attention to how I saw myself. And at the very beginning, when I was doing this exercise, I didn't really have a perception of myself. My perception of me was what other people reflected back to me. Instead of seeing myself through other people's perception, I started to create my own perception of myself. And that was through understanding my values, understanding the things that I love about myself. I asked her to write 5 things down in her journal every single morning. And if it's 5 different things every day, just adding to the day before, or the same thing sometimes, that's okay too. But just write 5 things down about what she values and loves about herself. So her perception can go from the judgment into the love and the values. And when we become conscious of the root of our pain, then we can start making conscious choices because we understand our pain. We are in control at this point. So for her and for me, and if you are in this situation, you're controlling the situation, not trying to prove other people that you're worthy, because that's a waste of energy. But understand your worth and understand your values so you can hold that so close to yourself, and you can be so strong about who you are that you Don't pay attention to what other people say. Other people see through their own fear, and other people will see you through their own pain and their own fear. The only way to hold close to your values is understand and become aware of your values. I also asked her to write a list of those things too, where she feels that she's not living up to those expectations. Because when those come up to the light and we start understanding those, then we understand that inner chatter, that inner judgment that we keep repeating in our lives. And they are probably not coming from us, but what we perceived from the world around us. So that can help her to catch herself when she goes into those judgments. And every time she goes into the judgment, she can just direct her attention back to her values and get stronger and stronger so you can hold it closer. So she can hold it closer and closer to herself. This is really crucial. And if you are going through something like this, make sure that you apply these tools and techniques. Besides these, ask her a couple of other questions to answer because I wanted her to understand what are the consequences when she lives in that judgment. Because when we live in the judgment of ourselves or allowing other people to influence us with their fear, that affects us when we want to live up to other people's expectations and when we want to prove ourselves for them. We make different choices in our lives that affects the relationships we have. So I ask her, how does this affect her relationship, her marriage, the relationship with her children, her relationship with her friends, her business? How does it affect the way she feels every single day? And what type of choices she's making daily because of this that she wouldn't make if she didn't feel this way? And how does it make her feel? Normally, like every single day, does it make her feel nice, light? Does it make her feel stressed, anxious, comfortable, uncomfortable, unsafe, safe? What does it feel like? So, and when it comes to weight loss, this is so important to understand that if we feel unsafe of being who we are, then we are in a constant state of stress. And most women who have a lot of self-judgment have a really hard time with weight loss because we create so much stress in our bodies that our body reacts to even the healthy food that we eat or the exercise that we do. So it's really important, not just what we do, but what is our intention and how we do it. It's really important for us to recognize. And then after I told her, after she really went into these questions, I wanted her to answer questions about how she wanted to feel. How did she see her life? What was ideal for her? What was her desire? And what were those things that if she did those, that would make her feel that way? And then after I asked her to answer one question, who did she need to be? Or what did she need to believe about herself for her to be able to make those choices and feel that way? So as you saw, we were breaking it down, and then we have to rebuild up with the questions so she has more clarity about her and more clarity about the consequences of trying to live up to those outside influences and expectations. And this is a really important part about learning to own ourselves. And we can see that how, for us wanting to lose weight, has a lot of times nothing really to do with what we look like, but how we feel about ourselves. And there's a reason why we feel that way. And that's why it's so important for us to go into our pain and recognize our pain, feel our pain, understand our pain. So we have the time to grieve and we have the opportunity to heal so we can change and shift our lives and finally live the life that we desire. And in our society today, with social media and with life changing so fast, it's so important for us to be able to understand our values so we can always come back to them or actually come from those. In this ever-changing world, there are certain things that we can hold on to. It's not the things outside of us, but it's the very thing within us. Understanding who we are, it's crucial if we want to feel safe, if we want to be happy, if we don't want to be so dependent on the environment around us. If you found this video useful, make sure that you hit like, and if you loved it, share it with your friends. You don't know how it can help them. If you need support with weight loss and you're ready to dig deeper and you're ready to know more about yourself and learn to love yourself and love your body and heal that pain that maybe the past weight loss experience caused you, or something that happened in your childhood, come and join Weight Loss Through the Soul community for women on Facebook. And if you need immediate help or you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for watching. I'll be back with much more.